Ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests, Institute members, scientists, technologists and engineers, welcome to this, the 114th annual dinner of the Institute of Marine Engineering, Science and Technology. I joined this institute in 1971, which even to me seems now to be a long time ago. I am now, of course, hugely honoured to be now serving it as president, but I find I have one small regret. I missed signing my own 45-year membership certificate by a matter of a few months. I should have been in a bit less of a hurry, but as Oscar Wilde put it, youth is wasted on the young. Change has been a constant feature of that period, and among other things, this annual dinner is now transformed. Gone are the VIP receptions and exclusive bars. We now have all the same experience, and of course I speak briefly before the dinner rather than at length after it. The other change is that we are now as an institute much more fit for our future challenges than we have been for a very long time. We are now delivering more services to more members than ever, and at less cost and with less staff. I applaud the efforts of the entire executive team in increasing output while dramatically reducing costs, making us now, as I say, more fit for the future. But tonight is a celebration, and I first have a little bit of advice from an ancient Greek, Aristophanes. He is known as the father of Greek comedy, but is also known as the man who wrote the play, the performance of which caused Socrates to commit suicide. So perhaps not comedy as we know it, but he gave us some very good advice for tonight. Quick, bring me some wine so that I may say something witty. Against which we should remember another of Oscar Wilde's statements. We are all of us lying down in the gutter. It is just that some of us are looking up at the stars. Now we will drink one toast during this short introduction. I've been told by the Toastmaster that I can't do that because toasts can only follow the loyal toast, but we will drink a health nevertheless. So will you please make sure you have a glass with which to drink the toast? And I'm just realising that the Toastmaster has failed to bring me mine. Perhaps he'll do that before I get to the toast itself. Now, the reason we're going to do that, Muir's coming, I'm going to have too many glasses now. I'll take all of them, of course. That will do nicely. Oh, is it underneath? An embarrassment of riches. But now to a little bit more serious talk. Many of you will know that David Henderson, our young and enthusiastic registrar, died suddenly and completely unexpectedly at a horribly young age of 31. He was a great institute servant. He had been involved with the professional affairs, education and membership areas of our business for some time and had only recently succeeded to the position of registrar, but he rose to that challenge magnificently, managed his committees patiently and ensured that our routes to registration worked smoothly to the great benefit of all of us. He was also keen to improve whatever needed improving and had a great deal of sympathy for those taking less traditional routes to registration. He was, as you may well imagine, a very popular member of staff, and they all felt his loss very deeply indeed. His family are with us here tonight, and we share their pain as much as we can. This year, the Institute is proud to be able to launch a grant in memory of David Henderson. The grant is in memory of David's spirit as an adventurer with a passion for exploring other places, taking trips overseas, trekking across countries and taking part in all manner of sports and outdoor pursuits. Each year, the Institute will support the best idea for an original, exciting and exceptional journey which takes the recipient somewhere fresh, different and original. The journey needs really to matter to the individual, but also needs to be one that leads them to tell a story in a way that will inspire people to think about the oceans and the seas, and perhaps to think differently about how they are used. We all at the Institute hope that this award will capture imaginations and develop into something that captures David's spirit and preserves his memory. Youth was not wasted on David Henderson. He achieved much of real value to our profession, and we thank him for it. He was most certainly one of those of us who are looking up at the stars. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and drink to the memory of David Henderson, Institute Registrar. Now we get to a slightly easier part of my speech, the presentations. And I will start with the award of an honorary vice presidency to a man who, once I start talking about him, will know immediately who it is. I have known this man since early in my career, and this is the key, when he had the misfortune to have to teach me atomic and nuclear physics at the Royal Naval College in Greenwich. He also taught me the locations of all the good real beer pubs in Greenwich by escorting me on an extended evening journey, which I'm humbled to say left me much more tired than him. I also came across him when I was back at the Royal Naval Engineering College when he was first head of materials and subsequently dean of the college. But throughout all that, he also has had a long and deeply involved career with the Institute through his membership and vital engagement with the Professional Affairs and Education Committee and the Membership Committee, and it is that is now being recognised. I'm afraid that the Institute has temporarily run out of the Honorary Vice President's badges of office, so in order that John may wear the badge during this, his first dinner as an Honorary Vice President, I hope he'll accept the loan of my father's badge. It's a little less shiny than the new one he'll get in time, but will make him nicely obvious to the rest of us. So John McGrath.
Queen Victoria, first time she awarded a VC, wounded the recipient, but Chris is doing a lot better.
No, I'm not. Okay, don't move, it might fall off. Right, give me a hand. Come here, we've got to do a little pose. Thank you. I was meant to introduce Charlotte to the stage before I started that, but she's used her initiative and come up anyway. Charlotte is the Institute's Director of Communications, and she'll be helping me get all the awards to the right person in the right sequence. The next award is a new initiative. It's an honorary fellowship, and just so that you know, the honorary fellowship is the highest honor that the Institute can award, and it is certainly not given lightly. But this award tonight is to be a posthumous award, and so, as you may imagine, it is to David Henderson, of whom we've just been thinking. It is a fitting, permanent mark of our respect for him as an outstanding Institute servant, our gratitude for all he contributed, and a visible memory that will never fade. I'm delighted that David's father and brother are with us here tonight, and they will receive the honorary fellowship certificate.
Thank you guys very much. Myself and the family, we've been overwhelmed by the happiness that you've shown to David and the appreciation. We really can't put it into words, and I'm struggling, so I should probably not say anything more. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, the next award, similarly to John McGrath and his honorary vice presidency, will immediately alert the man who's to be honoured, because he would normally be in the full approval circuit as a member of council. It is, and I suspect he is already ahead of me, an award to Frank Mungo, Institute Honorary Treasurer and President in 2003, and it is of an honorary fellowship. Most of you will be aware of the deep changes undergone at the Institute over the last 8 years. These have not been at all easy, but have led to the hugely improved position that we now find ourselves in. That is largely due to the tremendous leadership of the Honorary Treasurer. In a sense, it matches the award of an Honorary Fellowship last year to Malcolm Vincent. They are the two men who together did more to save this Institute over that period than anyone else. And I'm glad the pair now have equal recognition. Frank. We are continuing with awards, and I now move on to the Denny Gold Medal, and I will be reading this verbatim because it gets quite complicated with the titles and the names, and I do have to get it right. The Denny Gold Medal is awarded each year to the best papers published in the IMarEST technical journals, the Journal of Marine Engineering and Technology, and the Journal of Operational Oceanography. We are delighted that some of this year's winners are able to join us, and the first are Dr. Santiago Suarez de la Fuente and Professor Alistair Gregg for their paper Making Shipping Greener, a comparative study between organic fluids and water for Rankine cycle waste heat recovery. I'll take Alistair first. The next Denny Medal is to Professor Joe Falco and his co-authors for their paper Frequency Control during transients in offshore wind parks using battery energy storage systems. So, Joe. And now we move to our new Institute Awards, the Outstanding Contribution Awards. And I think, if I'm right, there's 3 of them that we can award tonight. The Marine Ambassador Award for 2017 is awarded jointly to Mr. Nikhil Idnani, Honorary Secretary of the IMarEST UAE branch, and to Dr. Rachel Nichols-Lee of the Devon and Cornwall RENA and IMarEST joint branch. The Marine Education Award for 2017, sponsored by KVH Videotel, is awarded to Dr. Inaki Lerono, Professor in Marine Engineering at UPV in Bilbao, Spain. So, Inaki. But finally, I have to thank our sponsors for their generous assistance in making tonight's event possible. Lloyd's Register, our gold sponsor, Greens Power, our bronze sponsor, MLA College, our sponsor, and our supporting sponsors, Bureau Veritas, Hellenic Engineer Society of Great Britain, and Veritas Petroleum Services. The other thing you'll notice on your tables, envelopes for a collection for the Guild of Benevolence. The Guild was set up in 1912 to help the families of the Titanic engineers, and it is the only charitable organisation with a direct link to the Titanic. The fund still helps all certificated marine engineers, other institute members and their dependents around the world today. We hope that you will be generous in your support of the Guild. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm at the end of my introduction. Please enjoy the witty conversation you're now storing up. Enjoy the dinner, but above all else, please keep looking up at the stars. Thank you.